guys, today we're going to review how to solve an equation with one variable on one side, and we are going to do this by using the distributive property, and an example that's provided for us today has fractions in it. So I'm going to use my color blue to use a distributive property. Now don't panic, you're going to be able to use your decimals calculator for this, and I'll show you how to do that. Using the color blue, I'm going to show you that I'm going to multiply the 3 over 4 times the 4. I'm also going to multiply the 3 over 4 times the negative 8. Okay, so if I rewrite this, I have 3 over 4 times 4 x, and I have 3 over 4 times negative 8. Again, this is all happening right here on this side. We're going to go ahead and simplify this. I'm still going to write equals 12. And in your decimals calculator, I want you to tell me what you get when you multiply these two. So I'll show you what I have in a decimals calculator. We haven't used it. Let's see, decimals. And when you're using decimals, make sure that you are using the scientific decimals calculator. So I'm going to go ahead and put it underneath the document camera. Hope you could see that. So I'm going to go ahead and put 3/4 and how you do fractions. Here's a fraction. So I can start with 3 and then go put a 4. Actually, no, let me go back. There we go. And then I want to make sure that I move forward so that I'm in the bottom. It's not letting me go in the bottom. Why? There we go. So here's my 4. 3/4 times, and I'll do times, and we're going to multiply that times 4. And that equals, hit enter, and that gives me 3. So if you notice this, this is really what it's doing. It's taking the 3/4 times 4 over 1, which turns out to be 12 over 4, and as you know, 12 divided by 4 is equal to 3. So we're going to go ahead and write that down. This is 3, and we have the x. Notice that this is a positive times a negative, so a positive times a negative is just a negative. You remember your rules for multiplying positives and negatives. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing but in decimal, so I can show you how to do that in the calculator. So I'll put my decimals calculator, my screen up here again. I'll make sure I clear it. And we're going to use the fractions button, and I will put 3 over 4, and then I touch the bottom. I want to make sure I'm at the bottom. Here we go. Times, and it's going to be a negative 8, so I'm going to go ahead and use the parentheses. So minus 8, those parentheses. Here we go. And notice that it gives me the answer to be negative 6. Okay, what it's doing really, it's taking negative 8 over 1 and multiplying it across. So it gives me negative 24 divided by 4, which my answer is a negative 6. So let's go ahead and write that down. So this is a negative 6, which we already have the minus, and then we still have equals 12. So based on this, my goal is to get the x by itself. I need to have this number or this variable by itself. So I'm going to undo or do the opposite operation, and if I look at this here, I'm going to always start with plus or minus first. So I'm subtracting. The opposite of subtracting would be to add. So I'm going to go ahead and add 6 to both sides. And when I do that, I have to make sure, and I'm going to use red because I want to make sure that I'm aligning with like terms. So if I'm adding 6 here, I'm going to add the 6 to this. And these are like terms because, again, they both don't have a variable. They're constants. So when I go straight across, notice how I didn't do anything to this, and since I didn't do anything to this term, I'm just going to bring it straight down. So I have a 3x. Now, -6 plus 6. These are exact opposites of each other, and they have the exact same number. So it's the same thing as saying 6 minus 6, which is 0. Okay, so this is going to be plus 0. You don't really need to put plus 0, but I'm going to do it just to keep the place. And then 12 plus 6 is just 18. Now, 3x plus 0 is just 3x equals 18. Anytime I have a number in front of a variable and I don't see what operation's going on right there, that really is multiplication. Okay, that's a times right there. So to undo a times or a multiplication, we do the opposite of that, which is divide. We're going to use division. So I'm going to divide both sides, because what I do to one side I got to do to the other. That is our property of equality. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. Okay. If we do that, you can use your calculator if you like. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So we have a 1x equals 18 divided by 3 is just, let me move this up a little bit, going to be 6. And again, you can use the calculator to verify. Lastly, 1 times x is just x, so we have x equals 6. That is my answer. Whenever we have an answer like this, where we have x equals a number, this is a one type of solution. So your solution type is when x equals 6, right? So let's write that down. This is a one solution type. This is a one solution. Okay, there's 3 different kinds. There's ones where you have no solution, you have many solutions, and then you have one solution. This is the one solution type. Okay. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll have a few more different examples, especially with decimals as well. Okay, have a great day. Stay connected, and again, be safe and be healthy.